Okay, it's recording, so everything you say is being recorded.
No. Oh,
so.
jeez. Here, let me do the backup audio here.
Because Joey doesn't trust me, so he got his 15 audio things.
I have to have my backup in case you edit me to say something I didn't say.
I'm just gonna like dub over.
Yeah,
so you know those Turkish soap operas?
Yeah, so I have the real. Whoa, Jesus.
You're trying to get my video flagged?
Well, I saw that sometimes you use the little roll, the little chatter in between,
you.
so
Ha, ha, ha.
I never really know what I'm up for. You also have to be careful not in the background to just stare like this. People don't realize that in basically all the videos I've ever made, I'm always in the background going.
Do you want to explain yourself?
It's normal.
Do you want to explain yourself? What, like,
no.
Are you zoning out? Are you bored? What's going on in your head?
It's just the way I am.
It's just the way that he is, everybody. Sound like... No, I'm not gonna put any business there.
You can do whatever you like.
Okay, fine. Then he gave me the go-to, so you know I will. I know you already hate this.
I'm having fun.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I know. Ask me anything you like.
So I know it looks like I have a lot of questions, and that's because I do. Actually, not that many. They're fun questions, though.
I have some answers, so.
And I know that you have done a lot of photography interviews in the past.
Not really. Just a few here and there. Just friends of mine.
Okay, well then you have a lot of friends.
I prefer to be behind the camera.
So I have here with me Joey Lawrence, or Joey L, and you may recognize him from the 4 Photographers video that we did.
Yes.
And I just want to make this clear. Joey, were you bored in the last video?
Well, I wasn't bored, but I was in the background staring a lot like this.
Should we do a reenactment?
No, people can watch it themselves. It's no problem.
Just watch it yourself.
I was focusing. I was really trying to think of how I could win the challenge. That's what I'm doing.
So we're just going to be asking you some questions. That's it. That's all this is.
I'm happy to do it. Happy to be part of your YouTube channel once again. You can ask me anything you like. And it's nice to be with your following on YouTube. Hello, everybody.
I feel like you guys are friends.
Some.
So everything you say will be used against you in the court of law. So
in the court of YouTube comments. So be very
careful.
The
court of YouTube.
No problem. You can write anything you like.
So let the games begin. See, I did a combination of like Law and Order and then like Hunger Games. Was that Hunger Games?
I think so. Yeah.
Do you volunteer? Okay. I don't know. So first question, or actually before that, do you want to just introduce yourself?
Sure.
To people who don't know you.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Hello everybody, my name is Joey Lawrence. I am a photographer, and I'm fortunate. Do you want me to do like, yo, what's up YouTube? Yo, subscribe below, press the like button, support me on Patreon, like all that shit? Okay, hi everybody, my name is Joey. I am a photographer based here in New York, and it seems like Jess has come by for a visit once again to my studio, but this time, for maybe an interview.
Yeah.
So here we are, we're sitting here, there's a nice light on us.
Yeah, because Joey made me put it here because he wanted to look good.
Well, I was gonna light just myself with a snoot, with a spotlight, and just leave you.
But he was very generous. He's like, Jessica can look like decent.
Well, right? I did feather the light so you have the softer.
So I have like the...
Yeah, because the source is here, but you're getting the nicer feather, so I took a bullet for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem.
What a nice guy. Just what a nice guy. Let's talk about your background. What was your first job? Was it always photography?
Pretty much. I would say my only real job in the entire world has been photography, but I actually used to teach crafts to kids at the Boys and Girls Club when I was in high school. When you live in Canada, you have to do a certain amount of hours of what is called community service. And I did mine working at Boys and Girls Club, teaching crafts to kids. And then I also taught them photography.
That's really nice.
And then I also helped somebody with their online business, like for some money on the side when I was really young. But it was only because at the same time I was doing photography stuff online and had my own website and was doing photography of Jurassic Park toys and dioramas.
Oh, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, like setting them up and taking photos and sharing them online with like a community, and that's actually how I learned photography. So I've been doing this for a very long time, but professionally making money at it for 10 years.
Oh wow! Did you use GeoCities for your website?
I did. GeoCities is great.
What a good guess.
Yep. It was the era of GeoCities. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
And Angel Fire.
I remember Angel Fire, but it was always down because too much traffic.
That was my fault.
And I didn't want to pay. I didn't have any money when I had my Jurassic Park website.
I had like a .tk.
Yeah, I had the free one like .tuya.com because like if you did that, you could get a free domain, and it wasn't GeoCities/whatever.
So wait, what was yours?
Well, it was Dinorama. I still love Jurassic Park to this day. I just see it through, let's say, a different lens than I did when I was a kid. But I think it's still one of the greatest movies for sure.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
My favorite dinosaur.
Reptar is my favorite dinosaur. He's a cool guy.
See, if I said one of the flying ones, like a pterodactyl, people would say like, I don't know if that's like the same classification of dinosaur, but I'm gonna go for one of the flying reptiles of Jurassic Park.
You're so complicated. You just look at any dinosaur. So there you have it, everybody. Now you know Joey's favorite dinosaur.
Yeah, I think it holds a very special place in my heart because that's how I started photography. So
through dinosaurs?
Everything I know, all my experiences, the interesting people I know, the people I meet, is really because of dinosaurs, right? Because I love Jurassic Park and I wanted to make dioramas, and that got me out of the house with a camera.
Oh, okay, and that's cool.
It made my everything to do with photography. So yeah, I think I should still love dinosaurs. If I didn't, I'd probably be a hypocrite.
So you have to love them, okay?
I think so, yeah.
Inshallah, you love them forever.
Inshallah, I will love them forever.
Okay, next question. What were you most intimidated by in starting photography?
I think if I were to have started later, I would be intimidated because it's a very difficult career to get into. Okay.
Yeah, I would say that.
I was lucky to start off so young because you certainly have pressures on you when you're young, but they're not the same as, say, like having to support yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a kid, I was living at home. The biggest challenge for me was people trying to tell me that I couldn't do it. Yeah. Even guidance counselors in high school wanted to tell me that it would be better to do something like a skilled trade, like a woodcutter or something like that, which there's no problem with, but the issue with what they were saying was that you should treat photography as a plan B.
Yeah, that's what I was always told too.
I'm totally against this idea because something like photography, you have barely enough time to treat it as a plan A, you know? There's no time to do anything else. You really have to dedicate yourself to it wholeheartedly, like a vocation. It's not a job, it's a vocation. So when they do that and people have a plan B, or it is a plan B, when you're starting out, let's say, I think it could be damaging and hurt you. However, if you're coming to photography and you have a normal job, there's also nothing wrong with that. You're just going to have to work a lot harder. Being a freelance photographer is harder than I think it ever was before, but if you're not going to work really hard, if you're not going to wake up early in the morning, stay up late at night, somebody else is ready to do that.
Yeah, that's why I always say it. And I said that in my last video, which is so funny you bring that up. Because what you're not wanting to do, someone else is, basically.
Oh yeah, in a field like photography, I mean, it can be a really amazing job, but I think people aren't prepared for how hard photographers actually work. And I think that's why maybe someone like yourself, Jess, you're not afraid to share with your audience your work because you know that only a certain percentage of those viewers are going to have the work ethic that you have. And it's nice to share with the community, but at the same time it doesn't really make, someone's not going to, every single viewer watching is not going to be able to challenge what you're teaching.
What is something that you wish people knew about you? Because I feel like sometimes people, well, I mean, on YouTube, like, I feel like people judge based on what they see in a video or by your work. So, in your own words, what do you think people should know?
I don't care what they know or think about me,
okay,
to be honest, but I will answer your question.
Thank you.
The projects that I choose to highlight are topics that I wish people knew more about. So that's how I choose my personal projects, is out of like what I'm personally interested in, where my passions lie. and try to do projects that make people think differently. Maybe in areas where there's something called like viewer fatigue or compassion fatigue, where people are used to seeing the same things over and over again. I think they might get that wrong, but like, you know, as a photographer, again, your work is like behind the camera, so like I don't really care if people don't get me, right? I like to be a good communicator, and I love to teach also, but at the end of the day, it's not a dating contest. Photographers, we need to have a good personality because it's a lot about, you know, gaining people's trust and showing a mutual respect. And at the end of the day, it is a very small industry. So it's like more like a mom and pop shop, where it's like small business. So I'm not talking about you can't have a good personality. It's just like there's nothing that I want someone to know that I'm not already doing. It's just like any project that I work on, I really care about. And I'm using myself to put in there. To highlight certain things that I want to focus on myself by using it as a project.
What's your favorite color? No, I'm just joking. Okay.
My favorite color is red.
Wow, you're just gonna answer? Okay.
I already told you I'll answer anything.
You're
so
going. That's
seat.
Savage.
Yeah, like a dark red, not too bright, more like a blood red. Like very tasteful, maybe desaturated by about 15 points. Shifted slightly toward the yellows instead of the.
Who would win a? Okay. Who would win?
I was not prompted on these questions before.
I know, I didn't show you these for a reason because I know you're going to be like, I don't want to answer this. So too bad, you got to answer all of these. Okay,
I'm screwed now, no problem.
Who would win in a fight between Spider-Man and Batman?
I don't really know enough about comic books to know, but maybe Batman. I don't know.
The cartoon
I think,
Batman.
Maybe Adam West Batman would win against anyone. He looks really strong.
I don't know who that is.
You're gonna have a fun time Googling that one.
The cartoon Spider-Man and cartoon Batman, you know?
But I think Spider-Man has a radioactive spider bite, so he's by nature a superhuman.
I feel like you go.
Whereas Batman, I think, is just really rich.
Batman just has a lot of money. He just has a nice car.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
His outfit is pretty cool though. It's like black and gray. Spider-Man doesn't even match. Are you serious? Like red and then you have like blue in there. It doesn't even match really.
You're right. It is ugly. It is an ugly color palette. You have to almost like desaturate the blue and shift it to more of a sort of greeny, dark blue to make it tasteful.
Spider-Man, fix that, please.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with the all black. I'm with
Batman. So
whatever superhero wants to wear all black, then I think maybe they'll win.
Basically, if you look like Joey, then you'll win.
They'll win the popular vote. Yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite photo that you've taken and why?
Okay. My photos are like my children. If I told you which one I like better, it would be very discriminating. But naturally, the more recent projects you work on, the more happy you are with them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I would say the more recent stuff, because I'm like anyone else, you look back on old work, you go, oh man, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah,
this looks terrible.
My God.
Oh, gee,
I've had some shoots like that.
Yeah, so let's say like the one I did last would be my favorite, but I'd say like personal projects, recent things.
So whatever Joey has on his website most recently is his favorite picture.
Exactly.
I should just answer the questions for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want some water?
No, I'm okay. So you're drinking water. NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? Which do you prefer?
I think both are great, but.
But Justin though.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, maybe Justin
cool
Timberlake. So maybe NSYNC is better. But have you ever heard the Backstreet Boys song about when his phone battery dies?
What is it called?
Going to a place nearby, so you know, gotta go.
Okay, what is it? Hold on.
Well, I like that song
Call Me Something?
Yeah, I like that song a lot because in the music video they have phones that are this big.
I'll have to check it out. We'll put some clips in there.
Yeah,
hold on, wait, now I'm thinking of the song. I know it, but I don't know the name.
It's a great song.
I won't be home, so don't wait up for me.
So you're asking me about what is better, Backstreet Boys or NSYNC?
You really like that question, don't you?
Well, yeah. I think that most people associate me with maybe devil music, but I love that kind of pop music too.
Please explain. How did that come up?
I just mean because that's...
Like heavy metal or something?
Yeah, no, because that's how I got started as a photographer, was I was photographing a lot of those kind of bands.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Doesn't mean you can't love a good freaking Backstreet Boy song about your battery dying. I think everyone can relate to that, can't they?
Everyone's battery dies eventually, right?
A really great pop song also is Britney Spears' Toxic. It's just, I don't care who you are, that's a really well-written song. It's crafted by geniuses.
I'll let her know that you think that's the song.
Thanks.
What would you be if you weren't a photographer? You'd work at Jurassic Park, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. I would work in the raptor pen and be the guy who puts the cow down. You know, when the cow goes down.
And he feeds them? Okay.
Yeah, I would want to feed the raptor.
Did you watch Jurassic Park 3?
Yeah, Jurassic Park 3 was when they started.
Chris Pratt?
That's not Jurassic Park 3, that's Jurassic Park World.
Jurassic
Park 3 is when they started going downhill.
Oh, is it good?
No. Jurassic Park 1 is the best, Jurassic Park 2 is awesome, but after that...
It sucks. Jurassic Park World is pretty cool.
If you like dinosaurs, you can just watch it. But as a movie, Jurassic World is a miss, unfortunately.
I thought it was pretty cool. Chris Pratt was in it, I love him. You would work at a dinosaur farm, basically. It's a farm for dinosaurs. That's what Jurassic Park World was. They had the farm.
It was a theme park, yeah. I'd like to be a mascot there in a big dino suit. No, I think if I did something other than photography, I'd probably want to be a writer.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Paint visuals with using words.
I can see you doing that. You're a very descriptive person.
I'm reclusive as well, so that would work.
Are you afraid of the dark? That's also a reference from Nickelodeon, but okay.
When I was younger, I was afraid of the dark, but now I'm afraid of other things. But
like dinosaurs.
Wow, definitely.
Spiders, clowns.
No.
Clowns in the dark. That's pretty scary.
Oh yeah, clowns in the dark.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's a good combo.
No clowns on this channel.
I would be afraid of that.
There are no clowns on this channel.
Well, there's one right now.
Oh, okay, I could be a clown. That's fine.
I meant myself, but thank you for taking the bullet. Thank you for that.
Okay, I'm a clown pretty much too. Who is your favorite photographer?
Good question. I have a lot of favorites. I'm most inspired by photographers who have a very specific vision in their body of work. I love Sebastian Salgado, his black and white work, because he approaches subject matters that I like in a completely different way. I like a fine art photographer called Peter Hugo. I'd say those two are my sort of go-to faves right now. In the commercial field, I think maybe Frank Ockenfels is probably the best in terms of doing advertising work, but having a very sophisticated, amazing taste and touch, and adding that to advertising. I think Frank Ockenfels is the best probably.
Okay, what's your favorite lens?
Favorite lens for my spoiled brat Phase 1 camera is my 55mm 2.8.
I love how you talk about it like it is your child.
It's my special boy, yeah.
I can feel you tearing up. Are you okay? You need a napkin?
He's grown so fast, yeah.
I don't have one, sorry.
I love this lens. The camera body is a bit of a mess. It's full of bugs, but for medium format photography, I think it's the best version of it, but I wouldn't say it's a perfect camera. I think Canon stuff, Nikon stuff works a lot better.
Really? Okay.
But you asked me my favorite lens, it's a 55 for sure. 55 2.8.
Are you gonna do that every time?
Yeah, it's called a clap sync clap. It's important so that you can sync your audios later.
Okay.
You never heard of that? A clap sync?
I've never heard of that in my entire life.
Well, if you have two devices recording,
but I have a feeling you're gonna tell me what it is.
You can clap so that the sound wave goes like this,
and
you can line it up easy.
Can I do it for the next one?
Why do you think they have a film clap?
Oh, I thought they just put the number and then they just do that so then they know which number.
The number's time code. So the time code is between the cameras.
That's so cool. I didn't know that.
The clap is for the audio.
I'm gonna clap it up after this. What's been your favorite place to shoot and why?
I think one of the most fascinating places in the entire world is India. Okay.
I knew you were gonna say that.
You knew I was gonna say that. I think it's the most maybe photogenic place. Nicest people by far, Kurdistan. Warmest hospitality type people. And I also love shooting in New York, to be honest, because it's my own neighborhood, so I like to be challenged with seeing something that I'm used to and trying to photograph it because you become, like it became normal to you.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's somehow harder.
You try to photograph it in a different way that you normally wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah. Because
cool.
if you're a visitor here, everything looks amazing. So
yeah.
I really like when people visit me, like from my hometown or wherever, and they go, wow, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm like, sometimes you can take it for granted.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? So it's nice to be reminded. So I would say India, Kurdistan, and New York.
Okay, since you've traveled to the Middle East, what do you think people's misconception about it is, since you've been there?
In America, I think they have a really backwards idea of the Middle East. I think that their perspective is very warped by the media shrinking issues to black and white, good versus evil narratives. Yeah. Good versus evil narratives.
It's very complex.
And I think people don't understand that most people, humans, are people no matter where you go. And when you get off an airplane and you go somewhere, you're like, oh, I'm just me, but here now. You know, it's not this far away place. You go, oh, this was so close, and these people are really friendlier. Unfortunately, the shrinking down of narratives has painted a bad brush on not just the Middle East, but many countries for Americans. And I think that they're wrong. So I love the Middle East.
Me too.
And I'm looking forward to going back one day. Actually, there's a really nice culture of hospitality that I think we're missing in the West, and in the whole region, actually, where it's like about treating your guests with a really high esteem. Yeah. There is some sort of things that remind me of like small towns in Canada where I'm from, like that what? You can find in the Middle East. I'm talking about hospitality, wanting to help people. I mean, you can find it also in some places in America, but right now we're in the biggest city of New York, so it inspires sort of like an urban isolation. Yeah. There's so many people, you care about people less.
Yeah,
because you're compacted. True. So there's a small town sort of nice quality about not all places in the Middle East, but in general, the culture is like that in my own personal experience as a visitor going there.
Well, was there anything that really shocked you when you got there? You're like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Because some people...
it's hard. I mean, I've been there many times. It's hard not to be very moved and changed by any trip, really.
It really is. I think it's a culture shock when you get there. I actually went back after not being there for like maybe 6 or 7 years I hadn't been there, and I went. It was like a culture shock. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
What did you notice yourself? The same question to you.
People just live... They just appreciate everything, and just we take everything for granted. Like they don't have electricity 24/7. They eat everything on their plate because they cherish their food so much. And also another big thing, and I learned this because my grandma always yells at me about it. You're supposed to eat everything on your plate. It's very rude not to. I don't know if you had, they keep putting you more food.
I think that's all grandmas worldwide.
That's grandma.
That's not just your grandma, little cute grandma.
But in our culture, it's really considered rude.
Okay.
Like they'll be like, why is she eating my food? Because they'll be like, oh, does she not like it? Like the thing is, it's funny because when we got there, we had to visit all of our aunts, and each of them had like a big plate of food to give us. Like pineapple, the pineapple juice is like the go-to. Okay. And then we had to eat at every single aunt's house.
You can't be rude.
Yeah.
So the one you see at the end, you're allegedly the most rude to then.
Yeah. But why did you choose to go to the Middle East? What about it is so intriguing that you wanted to go take pictures there?
I had been a few times before in the Gulf, like doing like projects and whatnot. But if you're talking about the project in Kurdistan, I went in the first time in Iraq and Syria in March 2015. Kurdistan.
Oh, okay, so that's pretty recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wanted to do I've done many cultural projects on minority groups. So as an example, some indigenous people in Ethiopia and Indonesia and things like that. And Kurds are actually in a very similar... have a similar story that sounds familiar in the sense that their homeland is carved up between nation states. And when the war in Iraq and Syria happened, those governments retreated from their areas, and it allowed them to demonstrate their culture that was previously banned. So if you're a cultural photographer, you want to photograph this unique people during wartime it really came out, and they started to defend themselves. So that's why I chose a portrait project in Kurdistan. And I'm not a war photographer, but it's what drew me into the war, was they were defending themselves as Kurds. So that's how the project sort of started, and then it evolved over the time and over the different trips that I did.
And you made a book about it.
I'm working on it now, you're right.
Are you finished with it?
Yeah, good question. I mean, right now I'm doing the written section, so it's first and foremost a photography book, like you'd find the coffee table book or something like that. But there'll be a written portion too that has some journals and some storytelling and things like that. And it'll be out in spring, summer 2018. So my deadline is next month. I have to hand in all my materials, so I've been racing the finish line, writing my book. Yeah.
I saw some of the book, and the photographs are amazing. Was it hard to take pictures of people over there? Because when I was taking pictures in Lebanon, I feel, well, anywhere in the Middle East, I think when they see a camera in certain areas, it's not very common. I don't think people really understand that it's not common for someone to be taking photos. Not like even on your iPhone, it's just like having a professional camera and taking photos. People get scared of that because of security risks. There's some parts of Lebanon which you're not allowed to photograph at all. So, I mean, knowing that there's security risks in some areas, how do you deal with taking pictures?
I've seen the war in Syria from many different perspectives. I've seen it from the Syrian government perspective. I've seen it from the Kurdish perspective, let's say, and also from the perspective of some rebel groups. And each area is different, and they have different paranoia about different things. So when you're talking about that, it's not necessarily a regional thing. It's more like they're at war, and as you said, there's some security threats. But at the same time, I'm not really like a candid photojournalist style photographer.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Sometimes that fits into it, but really it's about taking your time, gaining people's trust. Understanding your motivations in a really clear way, and in a sense collaborating with people so that everybody's on the same page as to why you're there. And I think if you have that mindset, you could shoot in any part of the world, the most hard part of the world you could do a project in.
So before this got cut off because my Sony camera keeps overheating because it's dramatic.
It's very unprofessional of you.
You talked to the camera, right? Okay, so would you like to tell us something in Arabic?
No.
Why not? I mean, you've been there, so I'm sure you picked up some stuff.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really say that I'm an Arabic speaker, so
do you know any words that you can share?
No, maybe you can just say thanks, shukran. That's it.
Shukran, that's it?
Yeah.
Come on.
There's definitely some helpful words.
Yeah.
We can say the word for recording, for photography,
okay.
taswir.
Taswir, yeah.
That's an important one.
Yeah, so you do know Arabic. Well, okay. Arabic is hard though, I'll give you that. Arabic is hard. Even I grew up, Arabic was my first language, and I can tell you that it's hard.
And what about something helpful when you're photographing? Maybe you can pronounce it better than me, but like slowly, a little bit, shway, shway, shway.
Yeah, shway, yeah.
That's really helpful because sometimes people are uncomfortable in front of the camera, so you can calm them by saying slowly, just like you would in English. Don't worry, but this kind of thing.
I mean, it's fun to read, but if you, like I said, if you don't know Arabic, probably like, what the hell is this?
You asked me earlier what's my biggest regret or something I wish I could have done.
Yeah.
I really wish I could speak 2 languages. I think that would have helped me. So I remembered your old question. That's my answer.
What language?
I would love to speak Amharic or Arabic would be nice, simply because so many people speak it.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Okay. The best piece of advice I've ever been given, in general, let's say. It wasn't like one wise man.
It doesn't have to be photography related, yeah.
I didn't climb a mountain and a wise man was like, Joey, do this. And I was like, whoa, that's the best advice I've ever been given. Always have a ruthless group of friends that can help criticize your work so that when you come up with something, you can show them what you did and they can tear it apart and don't be hurt by it.
Okay.
As long as their intentions are to help you.
Okay.
And it's like what you would call maybe constructive criticism. Another good critic is my own dad. You want to know why? He's not a photographer, but he's looking at the picture not from a technical perspective at all. So if I send my dad something... It's good to have the perspective of
people who aren't photographers.
Oh, definitely, because he'll be like, it's boring. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? It's
amazing.
It's so technically sophisticated. Look how soft the light is. Look at the depth of field. And he's like, well, I don't know what that means. It's boring.
I was supposed to do the clap.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of clapping in this video. I think we're going to be the only ones clapping.
That's good. That's fun.
Thanks. Yeah.
The only ones clapping after this one.
Yeah. Be like, everyone's going to be like, this is hard.
That's a good joke.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you. You really like it, don't you? Thank you. I'll have
you
more
drop
soon.
a nice joke from time to time.
From time to time. I like spread them out so that it's not like joke. Like
so you really have to pay attention.
Yeah, I don't oversaturate.
Okay. You're forcing us to really peer into you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Why does a round pizza come in a square box?
Why does a round pizza come in a square box?
Yeah.
It's probably more cost effective to manufacture a square
Only
box.
Joey would answer like this.
Stackable, and therefore they can store more. And it's hard to make a circular shape, being more expensive. But I would imagine that there's a better punchline for this. Why is pizza round? Is it
Why is it round?
Because the dough.
But there are square pizzas though.
That's true. Okay, so why? What's the answer?
There's no answer. And are you gonna be okay with that? That there's no answer?
Yeah, some things in life there's not a good answer for.
I feel like Joey's gonna research. Joey's gonna start like his own book like about pizza.
Some things in life there's
there's no answer.
You're right. There's no. Answer.
That's just one of those things. Like why?
I think I gave the answer why.
Because of cost production.
Yeah.
Okay, there you have it, guys.
It's easy to make a cube out of a box.
So yeah, this is the end of the video, and since we're photographers and we're awkward, we don't know how to end this, so I'm just gonna keep talking until I find a way to say that this is the end. So
I think there's a nice clear-cut way to end this. You could thank your folks, and
Mom and Dad.
Stay tuned next time for the Jessica show.
Just like Looney Tunes. So we'd like to thank you guys for watching. And any last words? Not that anything bad is going to happen after this, just like any last words. Famous last words.
No, thank you everyone on Jessica's channel. Go out and do your own projects. Don't let anyone try to control how it gets published. It's better just to go out and do it and share it with the world and see what happens, and let that be a catalyst for creative growth.
You're so like sophisticated, and I'm over here like, I like pizza.
I fucking love pizza.
Me too.
Don't get me wrong.
So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna have Joey's Instagram and other social media, even though he updates it like once a year. But we're gonna have it there anyway, so you guys can go tell him to update it more.
Yeah, if you're interested in my tutorials, you can go to learnfromjoeyl.com. I also own the domain learnfromjoey.com. It points in the same website.
Wow.
So you can see some lighting and Photoshop techniques there.
I feel bad for any other photographer named Joey who tried to get that.
Yeah.
You just monopolize the market.
If people are watching this and they want to support a very independent project that wasn't paid by anyone, ongoing project, they can help support my work by pre-ordering the book. We do have a publisher. It'll be in stores, but the issue with photography books is that they're so expensive to make in a nice way.
Of course, yeah.
You can do the cheap version. The prints look like crap. It doesn't have a nice hardcover. But the way that we structured it is really based on the community supporting it. So if you, number one, you're interested in the photography, and number two, you want to support an independent project, you can check it out and pre-order the book.
So we will have those links in the description.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so you can check him out. I've seen it, and honestly, I think it's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
He took some beautiful photos, and he did stuff that, I mean, I've been to the Middle East, and I would probably not have the guts to go there, so I definitely give you props for that.
Thank you very much.
Check the description for everything, and let us know what you guys would like to see next.
Thank you very much.